Welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to talk about the number one excuse parents have that I hear as to why they can't engage with their kids more.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hey, welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to call some parents out on their excuses, reasons, justifications. Now, you may have guessed that I'm a pretty involved father. That is by choice. I have sacrificed some other things in my life so that I can be fully present with my children and be there for them, because I believe, based on my own experiences and other experiences, the more I research this, the role of a parent is to be present and to shower their children with love. Now, I didn't say baby them. I didn't say do everything for them. I said shower them with love. And the way that children spell the word love, in my experience, is T-I-M-E. The more time, not even time, the quality of time you spend with your children is very important. How do I know this? Because my earliest memories and my most fond memories of my mom is when she was spending dedicated time with me, empowering me, talking to me on a daily basis. She typically, because she worked long hours, this would happen in the evening time. Again, in my book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, I have what's called Daddy Talk Time. I believe I got it from my mom. She spent dedicated time with me every single evening, and I spend dedicated time with my children every single evening. Obviously, there are exceptions to that. If I'm traveling, if something super important's happening, but I also engage at my children's school. I'm capable of doing that, again, by design. So when people say, hey, man, you're really lucky that you're able to do that, just know that it's by design. Now, I'm not saying anybody needs to do what I do. I don't think everybody wants to be a coach or empower dads. That's not your thing. That's fine. But I can tell you this. Every mom and dad can spend dedicated time with their children if they choose to do it. Because the time excuse really doesn't exist. And I talked about it in an earlier podcast, where if the head coach of an NFL football team that won Super Bowls, and he was the head coach for 15 years, had 3 girls growing up in those 15 years that all played competitive basketball in high school, and I believe they all went on to play in college. If he didn't miss one basketball game for 3 different girls over probably a 6, 7, 8 year span while he was coaching an NFL football team, you and I really don't have an excuse, because that is a time demand on a coach managing a multi-billion-dollar franchise. So with that kind of responsibility, if he could make it to every single one of his kids' stuff, what's my excuse? And ask yourself, what's your excuse? So the number one reason, I'll pause again. The number one, it's not the number one. One of the things I do at my son's school is this. There's a program that I run called FBI Dads. Fathers being involved. And I head this program. And one of the things we have dads do is come in 3 times a year and read to the classrooms. There's 60 classrooms, and I get 60 dads to show up 3 times a year and read a book to the classroom. It takes 15 minutes 3 times a year. The other thing we do that coincides with those 3 days is we have 6 dads' breakfasts where they come and have breakfast with their kids. When I start signing dads up to do this, or I explain the program to them at the beginning of the year, even towards the middle of the year, if I get them face to face, I say, hey, dads, we have a great program here in the school to get dads to impact the school in a positive way. Male involvement on the school campus is proven to raise test scores, to raise morale, to raise self-esteem. And if that's what you want for your kids, this is what we do. We have 3 reader days and we have 6 breakfasts. Those breakfasts are sponsored by a local business, and all you have to do is come in, have breakfast, and there's an interactive presentation for you to have a great conversation with your child and get to know them a little bit better. Would you like to sign up? Without fail, the #1 response from most dads to my face are, yeah, I'd really like to do that, but I work. To that response, I usually say, I work too, but my children are important to me. And I think if you were to run by your boss or your place of work with ample notice, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late to the office, maybe 10 or 15 minutes today, or tomorrow, or on this particular date. And the reason I'm going to be late is because I'm going to have breakfast with my child at their school. And it's not because I'm going to be late because I'm out of there by 8 o'clock in the morning. It's because I may hit traffic. I just wanted to give you a heads up that I may be a little bit late. If you tell your boss in advance that this is the reason you're going to be late, anybody with a heart is going to say, hey, take your time, just get here safely, enjoy breakfast with your kid. But without hesitation or pause, the first rebuttal is, man, I'd love to do that, but I work. What message is it sending to your child that it's always work? Listen, I know you need to put food on the table, dads, moms. Some of you are in the same scenario. But I question, if you're a performer at school, if your performance at work is stellar, if you show up and do your job, and you do it well, because that's what you're expecting of your kids, right? To show up to school and do their thing well. I'm going to challenge you. Can you not ask your boss to be late or even take the morning off 2 or 3 times a year so that you could spend that love, see how I threw that in there, that time with your child? Because when you show up to their school, or when I watch these dads show up and I watch them connect with their kids, you know what I see? I see children that their face lights up like you would not believe. Because one, I'm important enough that dad is willing to be late to work, because dad's never late to work. I'm important enough that he wants to spend time with me. And I'm important enough that we get to have this really cool conversation, because when I run this, I create an environment for them to truly engage. Just know that I work too, dads. Moms, know that I work too. You may be saying, yeah, but your work is empowering dads or other parents, and that's why you could focus on this stuff. it's shifted towards that simply because I have a passion for it. And I was doing these things in addition to my coaching business. And I still do it in addition to my coaching business. Stop using excuses, reasons. You could justify, or you could just do what's right. You could have results in the form of really great kids, or you could have reasons. But I'm going to tell you this: you can't have both reasons and results, because the two are polar opposites of each other. So when you're thinking about going to a school dance with your daughter, or you're thinking about going to a mother-son warrior competition, or you're thinking about going to one of these breakfasts, or you're thinking about going to a PTA meeting that may help you engage with the other parents and some teachers so that you have an environment for your child to excel, think about how important it is for you to just show up in your child's life, regardless of the other things in your life. Show them every once in a while how important they are to you, not just by providing meals and a shelter over their head. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.